Good day, good people, and welcome to Real Chicks Rock presents Real Discussions. I am your host, Michelle Dosbert, and as always, I'm super excited to be here. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood here in Atlanta. A little crisp. It was a little warm yesterday, 65 degrees. We dropped about 20 degrees, so we're back in the coats and the boots and the scarves and what have you, but it's dry. So that means no precipitation, no rain, no black ice, no snow. It's all good. We're going to be all right. A lot of things going on here in the A. A lot of controversy around what's going on. Trials are happening. People are talking, buzzing about Usher. Tickets are on sale. People are getting their tickets as he's coming back to Atlanta. Great representation that he did last week at the Super Bowl. Super excited to see that performance. Everything was just right on point, and he did the A. You know, he did a solid, did a good job, and we're so proud of him. And so everybody's gonna be scrambling to get those tickets when he comes to town this year, and it's well deserved for everything that he's done. But enough about that. We're gonna talk to somebody that knows about music in his own right and doing some really great things in just a second. But I just want to welcome all the new listeners. Thank you so much for leaning in and checking us out. Let me give you a little background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. It's all about creatively collaborating and connecting to raise awareness regarding issues that impact women. And we do it by way of community service engagement, public speaking, mentoring, and the arts. And we've been doing this particular platform since April of 2016. Yeah, I wear that proudly. Yeah, I've been doing this for a little bit here, and it's exciting. It's fun. It never gets old, and we continue to bring people on here that's got something to say and has had an impact, right, in the things that they've done, that they're doing. They're passionate, and so we give them this platform to just talk to us for a little bit today. And so today is no different. I'm going to have a conversation with my friend Will Griggs. Hello, Will. How you doing?
I'm great. How you doing today?
I'm good. Good to have you. So, Will, tell the people, where you from?
Well, actually, I grew up in Oklahoma City and actually stayed there until I got to be about 17 or 18, and then moved to Atlanta, where I lived for just short under 20 years.
Really? Oklahoma City as a kid. A lot of black people living out there in Oklahoma City. What's going on out there? What was the landscape for you as a kid?
Well, surprisingly, it is a lot of black people that live in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Oklahoma, as people might not know, was actually started to be America's only and first black state. And that was a promise that was made to black people. But during the land run of 1889, of course, those promises were downtrodden by them letting all the settlers of all races come in and take whatever land they wanted. And, you know, a little bit of history. But before that, from a historical standpoint, Oklahoma was a state that had a lot of Indian land and Indian reservations. And if slaves escaped from Texas or Arkansas or any of the surrounding states and got there, they couldn't go back.
Wow.
So even to this day, all throughout Oklahoma, there's lots of towns of blacks and Indians. And believe it or not, Oklahoma has more black towns than just about any state.
Wow. Did not know that. So based on that, Will, what was the music you listened to as a kid growing up in Oklahoma City?
Well, you know, we had the Gap Band, you know, from a local standpoint. That was really, you know, probably the most popular band from an R&B and hip hop standpoint. And, you know, when I grew up is pretty much when hip hop started. I think I was about 12 when some of the hip hop stuff came down the pike with Sugar Hill Gang and Eighth Wonder and all that stuff. But, you know, we really love Zapp and all of the West Coast music. You know, Oklahoma is kind of right in the middle of the country. So we got all the stuff from the South and the West and New York hip hop as well. So it was a really great mixing pot for music for us, for sure.
Did you feel like you guys might have leaned more to the Bay Area, like getting a little bit of that from people from Oakland at that time?
You know, the thing of it is, being in the center of the country like that, you know, it's almost an equal mix of everything. You know, people like, you know, had gotten a chance to like a lot of go-go music, a lot of the hip hop music of the early 80s. You know, a good bit of the West Coast hip hop stuff with Egyptian Lover and all of that type of stuff. And Zapp and Roger and all that West Coast stuff. But, you know, there was some Dallas artists and Texas artists and Oklahoma artists that people will listen to, and a lot of people from the Midwest, too.
Awesome. So 17 years there in Oklahoma City, then you come to Atlanta. What brought you to Atlanta, Will?
Actually came to Atlanta for college.
Okay. Where'd you go?
So I started over at Clark, and that was a really good experience for me to get a chance to get a feel of how journalism works. As Clark is a
Mm.
journalism school,
Mm-hmm.
and the beauty of that, of course, is which I didn't quite understand the value of having all of those schools all in one area
Right.
between Clark, Morehouse,
Mm-hmm.
Spelman, and Morris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That was a beautiful experience. In addition to having Georgia State and Georgia Tech
Yes.
and Oglethorpe and Agnes Scott all
Mm-hmm.
around too. So it was a
Mm-hmm.
great college experience for me. Ended up transferring to Georgia State, and that's where I finished.
Okay. Okay. So during those years, your college years, how was that for you? Were you touching the music a little bit or really just focusing on communications at that time?
Well, at the time, I was really focusing on communications and getting a sense of Atlanta.
Mm.
It was just such a vast set of growth experiences
Yeah.
that Atlanta had undergone during the 80s
Yeah.
and 90s. So it was just a brilliant thing to kind of witness on all fronts, especially from a social and musical standpoint. During the time, Atlanta has so many free concerts that would take place at
Mm-hmm.
Grant Park and Piedmont Park.
Mm-hmm.
Huge things. We would go see Parliament Funkadelic and
Mm-hmm.
SOS Band and all these bands.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if they have as many free concerts now down there, but
Mm-hmm.
that whole thing was just being immersed in all that black culture was outstanding. That was
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah, yeah. We still do have the Jazz Festival, that's May, and then the Dogwood Festival, that should be coming up in the next month or two. And you're right, it is a platform for great free concerts. I've seen, Roberta Flack at the Dogwood Festival. Like, I mean, how many people could say that? And that's a free concert. And the numerous people that have come through the Jazz Festival, from Robert Glassberg to last year was Lettucey. It's phenomenal. So yeah, the talent that comes through here is incredible. So, during that time for you, Will, what did you see? What were you picking up? You're focusing on communications,
Hmm.
Atlanta's becoming this place where it's not just a Martin Luther King thing. It's a place where black people are seeing this as a mecca, almost like a utopia, and didn't really know what to do with it yet, but felt like something was bubbling. Was that the kind of energy you were feeling, Will, at the time?
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly with this is the middle of the Freaknik years,
Yeah.
so at the
those
time,
years, those years.
everybody was converging on the city of Atlanta,
Yeah.
not only for Freaknik, and some of them maybe came for Freaknik, but people were also converging on the city of Atlanta for a place to live
Right.
where they experience that culture and that warmness and that blackness
Right.
all in one place.
Right.
That is that very rare experience that Atlanta still is to this day.
Hmm. Yeah, it was a lot of things going on, a lot of opportunities, I would say, during that time, right? What was then Fulton County Stadium turned into Turner Field because the Olympics was big, right after the Freaknik years. And I'm in none of the videos, but I was out there. I seen it. I knew it, Rio Mall. There was so many different pockets and places, but I want to talk to you about it because things have changed. So give us a little bit about how it was then. How did you birth this thing called Chocolate Soul? How did that come about for you?
Well, being kind of immersed into that whole social culture
Uh-huh.
also helped me be immersed in a music culture
Yes.
and a very, very inclusive music culture. When you look at the city of Atlanta, Atlanta brings influences from New York, from Miami with the bass sound, a little bit even from the West Coast, and
Mm-hmm.
certainly from DC with go-go and the soul of Philadelphia, all kind of mixed into one. Plus, Atlanta has its own mix of Southern soul, Southern hip hop, and all kinds of other Southern music forms. So, just experiencing all of that together as a young person who was
Yeah.
already, inclined into journalism and music,
Mm-hmm.
it was a great time to not only be there and be in school, but a great time to be a journalist.
Mm.
The whole Chocolate Soul thing was actually birthed it was actually birthed from a college project from a college radio show
Okay.
uh, right there at Georgia State
Mm-hmm.
with our famed and beloved 88.5
Yes.
WRS. So
Awesome.
really, really great days. where we got a chance to do a show called The Urban Flavor, and we were blessed to have that be kind of a birthplace and a launching pad for a lot of those energies and a lot of things that people really enjoyed during the 90s and 2000s.
How long did this show run for you on there, Urban Flavor?
Well, it's a college radio show, so naturally after I graduated and left, it kept going. I think it started in like 92 and ended in 2000 and
Wow.
2013, I
Wow.
think.
Long run. That's a long run.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing because a lot of other young radio announcers got a chance to get on the show and
Yeah.
launch their careers from there, and a lot of other people who were just going into the industry in and of itself got a chance to launch their careers from there. Not only from the show Urban Flavor, but also the parent shows that birthed it, which was The Bomb, which was a hip hop show, and
Yeah.
also Rhythm and Vibes.
Right. Right. Tell me the concept of Urban Flavor. What was it that you were trying to accomplish with that show? Was it just having conversations with different artists? Just tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely, yeah. The whole urban flavor thing was to fulfill a niche that was missing from a radio standpoint, over and above what WCLK was doing, to have a mixture of soul music, hip hop, acid jazz, and a little bit of reggae, all mixed into one, in kind of a seamless, and some house too,
Yeah.
all mixed into one in kind of a seamless mix. And that for the city of Atlanta worked really, really well.
Yeah. 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 What time did it air?
6 to 8 p.m. on Saturdays.
Yeah, it's a good time. That's a good time. So a lot of different people. So you got a chance through Urban Flavor, Will, to talk to different artists as they were up and coming. A lot of pictures back in the day with you, with India Ari, those type of people. They came through the station, gave you the interview, maybe dropped new music. So you were pretty hot at that time, no?
Well, believe it or not, India Ari hadn't even started yet.
Wow.
So, but here's the thing, it was a really beautiful time because we had not only our station, we also had WREK, and also had a really, really successful and great hip hop show. We had
Yeah.
WRFG, not too far from there, which
Yeah.
also had a great run of shows and still does. WCLK was also bringing all of that flavor into the mix. So all of those energies were really, really growing in the city of Atlanta and just growing a whole rich music bed. Keep in mind, at the same time, LaFace had just started, and Dallas Austin had really gotten, kind of his footing going really, really well. And, along with the Dungeon family and everyone kind of really starting to push Atlanta's music face forward.
Yeah.
In that regard, we got to be the first to debut a lot of those artists. We were the first to play Outkast on the radio
Nice.
when it came out with Southern Playalistic. We were the first to play Escape, first to play Joy, the first to play D'Angelo, and a lot of those. Of course, he definitely wasn't from Atlanta, but his growth came out of that whole Southern soul scenario, just like all the rest of those artists. So that was a lot of fun, and that kind of that little 2 hour show birthed not only a good bit of awareness about a lot of those types of shows and events that were taking place in Atlanta, but also birthed some pretty hugely popular events, one of which was mine that we both, which you mentioned, Chocolate Soul, and even Funk Jazz Cafe, with my buddy Jason Orr. Actually, was birthed right around that same time, and pretty much from what we were doing there as well.
Yeah. Shouts out to Jason Orr, like that guy. So Chocolate Soul came out of it. And so what was your intent for Chocolate Soul? What did you really want the people to walk away with by you doing this type of show?
Well, believe it or not, Chocolate Soul actually started out, at the time I was an intern for Warner Brothers Records. And we had an artist named Kasserine, and we were looking for a CD release party for her. Shout out to Jason Orr once again. He told me about this place called the Yin Yang Cafe.
Yeah.
So went and checked it out. Seemed like a good little spot, and the energy was really, really nice in there, and the food was really, really good. Folks at Warner Brothers thought it would be great.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brenda Smith, the regional at Warner Brothers, who brought me in. So we had this show one Thursday there, and it was really, really successful. Jason had a really great idea of having Little John and the Chronicle be the house band for the evening. And because it was so successful, and we also wanted to have something to promote urban flavor with. Because it was so successful, they asked that we come back and do it every week. And
Nice.
that's where we came up, or where I came up with the name Chocolate Soul
Yeah.
Thursdays. And that started the whole Thursday night thing over at the Yin Yang Cafe.
Nice. Beautiful. And how was that vibe, Will? How was it? I mean, the first night was a success. How was it week after week for you guys?
Week after week was out of control. Little John rushing. It was ridiculous. So one of the things that we were able to do, in having the whole community like that work together, like with all those radio stations and everybody who was affiliated in the music industry kind of working together. But, being an intern over at Warner Brothers, we were able to have a lot of the record label artists come through, in addition to a lot of the local, really great soul artists, and have them get up there with Little John and the Chronicle.
Nice.
And that was fierce.
Nice.
So we had a super, super packed house.
Yeah.
And then the line was out the door.
Yeah.
Line was out the door.
Yeah. Down the block.
And then the line was down the block and around the corner.
Yeah.
Had,
Yeah. Because, Lil John, shouts out to Lil John Roberts. He's a beast anyway. He's just a beast. I had the opportunity to talk to him, and he's a really talented musician. And just in the space nowadays, just giving back and teaching at Berkeley. But just tearing it up, and the energy, anytime he gets behind those drums, it's a whole nother dimension that you're gonna go.
Little John on the drums, and think about Little John and the rest of those Philly drummers. It's like more beats per bar when they're playing, so it's got a little bit more bounce. You know what I mean?
I know.
We had El Rock on the move.
Yeah.
And, he ended up being, a super accomplished producer, and he did some of the stuff for Social Deaf and everybody. You had Billy Odom on guitar, who also did a whole lot of great production for Social Deaf and Dungeon Family moving forward. Had Avery Johnson on bass, who also helped produce one of NDRE's songs and albums. And so it was really an all-star cast, and even mixed with that whole all-star cast. Oh yeah, plus Phil on the keys.
Yes, Phil Davis.
You forget Phil Davis.
Yes, Phil Davis, awesome.
Then when you add that all-star cast and you add DJ Kimball to it, it was tearing them down.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Like juke joint in the 30s, it was crazy, and it was hot and it was sweaty, and everybody on one accord, and everybody singing back, and it was like, and from that there was a certain like connection and a certain energy exchange between the artists and the crowd that always stayed with Chocolate Soul, even as we outgrew that and started, having those performances in bigger venues.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Will, did you feel at any point, because of your relationship with Warner, and having these artists, maybe there could be some record deals that could possibly happen? Was that ever a thought for you at that time?
Well, at the time, because it got so popular, not only did Warner Brothers start bringing their artists, but, Def Jam and some other labels started bringing their artists as well. And, at the time, I really did hope and want that to be some type of record situation that we were going to develop for the Chronicle, and have like a southern version of the Roots, where we would have the Chronicle and all of their guests on one record. We weren't able to quite pull that off at the time. We were able to include the Chronicle on the Chocolate Soul compilation.
Nice.
So, it worked out all in all.
Nice. All in all, it worked out. So Chocolate Soul was around for how long, Will? How long were you guys providing these events and making the people feel a certain way?
Well, Chocolate Soul started in 1994, and in addition to being somewhere where people could see a whole lot of really good music shows, we also morphed that into a record label, and had not only a single artist record by an artist named Nwambe, and 3 compilations come out with artists from all over the world. And that run stopped right around 2010, 2011.
Nice run. That was a nice run.
Absolutely.
That was a nice run. Times have changed though, right? Venues started to change a little bit. I did hear you mention that you guys kind of went to a bigger venue, kind of maybe outgrew a little bit from a space perspective with Yin Yang Cafe. So where did you guys end up going?
Well, from the Yin we kind of had a difference of artistic difference on the way that evening should go.
Okay.
And crowds alone made it prohibitive for us to stay there much longer. So as we grew and progressed, the venues got bigger and bigger. So we went from there and we started using a venue that used to be in Little Five Points called The Point. And that was a wonderful spot for us to actually move from there and grow. From there, we went to another venue that used to be on Peachtree Street called the Cotton Club.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was also a really, really outstanding venue. From there, we went to Variety Playhouse.
Nice, I remember that.
And after that, it was time for the tour. So then we actually did 2 tours, and then we came back and did a tour to support the albums.
What cities did you hit on the tour, Will? You remember?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually hit we started in Atlanta. That's hometown. We gotta do it there first. We also did it at in Washington D.C. and we also did a version of that for the NABJ conference way back in 1998, which was great because that particular conference was a unity conference, which brings together not only the Black journalists but also the journalists of Asian descent, Native Americans, and Latin Americans all in one big mixture. And that was a outstanding place for us to exhibit, what we had going with the tour. The tour was sponsored by BET,
Nice.
BET.com, in order to launch the website as well.
Nice.
You know how long ago that was.
Nice. Nice. Still nice
Yeah,
stuff
we
though.
also did New York City, Philadelphia, did Washington, D.C. twice, Los Angeles. We also did one for the album release in Chicago and Houston, and I think that's everywhere. I think so.
Yeah, it's a lot of big. You hit all the major markets and cities. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that was a really, really good chance for us to, not only spread our kind of Southern chocolate soul energy and the way we do things in Atlanta and done things through chocolate soul. It is a way for us to connect with a whole lot of artists from around the country and have them end up on our compilation. We got a chance during that time to be featuring the first recorded piece of music by Kindred the Family Soul. So that
Nice.
was great, and we loved working with them, and they always tore the house down.
And still doing it.
They're doing it.
And still tearing it down. Still tearing it down. Will, did you still have an association with the communication side of you as well as doing Chocolate Soul? Was that a marriage in itself, or did you have to kind of pivot and just focus on Chocolate Soul and not really give too much attention to the communications side in you?
Well, they kind of started when I was doing them both at the same time for quite a long time. So naturally, that whole core communications element kind of stayed in there, and it also helped us to have good promotions and PR for the tour and for the shows, and to actually get a feel for what people want and the type of artists that people want to see.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So what happened next for you guys? So Chocolate Soul is doing its thing. Then it gets to a point. What was next for you after Chocolate Soul?
Well, the next thing for us was to really see the Chocolate Soul label launch, and we got a chance to have some really great artists on a lot of those compilations. Kindred, of course, was on there as well, and Anthony David from a local standpoint, and Raheem Devon, Medusa from out in Los Angeles. Just a really good mixture of high-powered artists. The influence from London. Satoshi Tomi
Yeah.
from Japan, and it was a really great. And also, the Chronicle was on the compilation as well, the first compilation. So it was a really great mixture of things and really great mixture of artists that came together all at one time. We were able to bring them, a lot of them to Atlanta to do our CD release party, and they actually named it Chocolate Soul Day in Atlanta for February 24th.
Nice, 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 nice. Do you see a change in music today? Well, I mean, from the time you did Chocolate Soul, even having the radio show Urban Flavor, is it still the same or is it different with music?
Well, musically, things have not necessarily changed, and they've actually grown. From a popular music standpoint, things have narrowed a good bit because, most of the things that you hear on popular radio are pretty much centrally located with a certain set of themes. But when you look at music as a whole, and when you look at the music creators as a whole, music has definitely grown, and the energy and creativity of it and beauty in it hasn't gone away. If anything, it has grown because there's more tools and more people are able to make music now.
Okay.
But the thing of it is also, because of that, there's a lot more clutter and a lot of songs that, you may want to avoid.
Okay.
But from a radio standpoint and a popular music standpoint, it is, centrally themed and, a bit monotonous. And, a lot of people are, looking for alternative forms to consume music and to have fun with music and have musical experiences.
Are you bored with music? Do you find that you trying to find a fix or something? Are you finding what you're hearing? I appreciate you saying that music is grown and not changed. Some of us older heads will be like, music is changed. It's not the same. So I appreciate you saying that it's growing or it's grown. So are you finding what you were used to, or have you grown too in music, or what's going on with you musically and your earbuds?
Musical people is you just have to know where to find it now. If you're going through traditional means and you hop in your car and you go to the local radio station, that's certainly going to be limiting.
Right.
Even if you actually decide to acquire a singer through XM radio or something like that, even that can be fairly limiting. Something like YouTube or something like Pandora or Spotify,
right?
Gives people a chance to kind of get a wider range of listening experiences. And, there are people like me who are also creating similar apps to also do that.
Yeah.
One of which, of course, is a sister app of ours called Audilus, and that's a radio station similar to Pandora. And, we've launched the Reverie channel now as well.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Reverie channel. You're wearing it proudly. Nice hoodie, nice pull up there. When was it? When was it started? How long has it been in existence? And congratulations.
Yeah, the Reverie channel actually started last May, so we've been going a strong 7 months. And, we're really happy with the growth of our channel and with the type of music offerings and experiences we're able to offer. A really great mixture, that people enjoy from all ages, 25 to 70, you know what I mean? But it is a great mixture of concerts where you can enjoy different levels of concerts and different lengths of concerts right there from your own home or your phone if you're out. Videos, a lot of really great music videos, not only from known artists, but from a lot of really great independent artists as well. Performances that are like really more intimate and from some of the artists' own living rooms and things like that.
Yeah.
In addition to a lot of great interview shows, like this is a great interview show,
Thank you.
So a lot of great interview shows and backstage footage and, different vignettes so people can really, really, really get to know the artists and get to know where they're coming from musically and why they make the music they make,
Awesome. What sparked this idea for you, this channel for you, Will? How did you birth this? Why did this happen?
Well, it was kind of birthed out of the absence of really good, true soul music and dance floor soul music for me to experience in any regard, especially from concert regard. And of course, this was birthed during the, at least the original idea started during the pandemic.
Yes.
Of course, it took, a couple of years, 2 or 3 years to kind of get it all the way put together and actually get the concept going and then launch the channel. But, it was a chance for people of my kind of music taste and people with more varying music taste to see something different. A lot of the options for experiencing music just offer you kind of one experience and kind of a monotonous set of songs, and we wanted to offer people like yourself and like myself who like go-go, who like house, who like hip-hop, who like alternative music and, want to have a mix of all that together, a chance to see those things and a chance to have a lot of visual experiences with that instead of just the musical experience.
So it's different than a BET Soul or, because it's It's not just R&B. It's a collection of everything that black and brown people might be interested in, or just people that like music, period, right? It's not really
Yep.
specific for black or brown. It's just people that like music, good music.
Absolutely. You know, and of course, there's people of all races and
Yes.
all colors who not only make the music that's on there, but and who seem to be enjoying the music on there, and that's very comforting, you know. But the important thing for us is that there's a certain musical excellence level that distinguishes our channel from any other channel. That's the most important.
One
And
thing,
people enjoy listening to it. So, you know, it's something where you can start listening to it, you know, while you clean your house in the morning and, you know, go all the way through to the afternoon and then maybe watch the great set of documentaries as well.
yeah, I was just about to say the documentaries are great because I was checking out the channel and it was really, I was like, I gotta go to work. I can't sit here. I can't sit here. I was getting pulled in and drawn in. But it is good. But it is a channel, Will, that you just don't want to listen to. You kind of want to watch it too. You know, you
Right.
want to watch it because the concerts are good. The documentaries have been great. So it is a visual as well as an audio type of experience that you're
Absolutely.
providing. How did you come about the name? Why that name? How did you discover that name for yourself?
You know, when you actually look to start something that's an entertainment vehicle or something where you hope that people are going to connect with it from an entertainment standpoint, you just hope to be blessed with a good name. And as you think about it, you hope to connect with something that actually gives the feeling that you want to convey. Like urban flavor or chocolate soul, you know, you want people to have that feeling of consuming chocolate, that feeling of warmness in their soul as they consume the music. In this case, you know, as you're, you know, going through a hard day of work and you want to come home and take your mind off of that, or you want to come home and actually immerse yourself into some type of visual music experience, that's where the name Reverie came from, you know, and it is you know, was so taken aback when I actually pulled it up and pulled up the definition and, you know, felt that it was so perfect. You know, technically, from a definition standpoint, it's actually being lost in one's thoughts or being lost in a daydream. And also, you know, it has a double music meaning on the music side. And reverie stands for kind of an instrumental piece or, you know, an instrumental
Nice.
solo kind of piece. So that's kind of where that name came from.
Yeah, nice, nice. And then the logo that's on your hoodie, that's just it looks very fluid, looks like someone is dancing, you know, so it looks very melodic. It looks like a dream state, is what it's it's kind of giving me. Is that what you were going for? Just kind of
Absolutely,
sultry?
you know, absolutely, kind of a dream state, and kind of, you know, it's hard to see if that person is dancing or jumping for joy or
Right.
exactly what it's expressing, but it is an expression of joy and reverie and a happy state of being, for sure.
What do you want next for the channel? Where do you see it going for you, Will?
Well, one of the things that we really want next for the channel is, you know, a good bit of adoption for people all around the world, and for them to adopt one of the few, if not only, crowdfunding sources for artists and content creators that are out here. As people watch the Reverie channel, you know, they can actually point their phones to the channel at certain points and connect with the QR code and support their favorite artist or support their favorite content creator, and in a more, you know, a concrete way than giving a like or a love or a comment, you know. And, you know, people, you know, as they get to the channel and as they adopt the channel, you know, they are donating and they really do support the artists, and we really want to see that grow. That's the next thing we want to see grow. The next thing for us that's really important, and we're hoping to implement this by this next upcoming spring and summer, is the live concerts and live events that'll be taking place that people can, you know, actually consume right there with their phone or right there in their homes. You know, so if you're in Cleveland and you want to see a really, really nice concert that's taking place at the time in Miami or Los Angeles, you can watch that right there on Reverie.
There's so many things going on now, right? The pandemic just changed our whole world, right? Because we were digital, we were streaming, but we weren't doing it until then. And it seems like there's a lot of opportunities or apps out here that are putting out what they want, living their dreams out loud. And it's a lot that's going on. So I want to say for you, how are you guys keeping yourself cutting edge, or is it a particular type of music that you're going to continue to hone in on for your channel? How do you feel about that?
Well, for us, it's not necessarily about the style. There are styles that are less represented, like country and western, and certainly a lot of hard rock and death music or metal. We don't necessarily have much of that going. But at the same time, for us, we want to push the envelope for the music quality, and we want to push the envelope for really provocative and thoughtful music experiences and documentaries that, like you said, are very immersive and pull you in and make you not only want to watch and enjoy watching, but maybe get up and dance or even learn something through one of the documentaries, and that's the important part. We want to have a real quality channel that people want to watch all the time.
Yeah. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. Can anyone, what are the qualifications for a musician or an artist to have their content on the Reverie channel? Is there requirements that they got to pass or something? How do they get on, if possible?
Well, there aren't really that many requirements other than the quality of the music. That's going to be the biggest requirement. Of course, we do want it, of course, to be some type of visual experience. So there's not much we can do if someone were to send us a song that's just an audio song. There is perhaps some type of music bed that goes with some other video that perhaps it could be a part of. But, over and above that, that would be fairly tricky. But if they do have a really good music experience, or documentary, or some tour footage that they want to get exposure for and that they want to express and have people support, that's wonderful, and that's what we're looking for.
Do we find that since everything is so digital and streaming and it's audio, that are people still doing videos to accommodate the music?
Absolutely.
They are. He said absolutely.
And, there's so many good streaming vehicles for people nowadays, for them and their videos. It's a helpful time for content creators to really, to really get really far as far as that is concerned.
Okay.
We have things like able to use their videos for commercials for YouTube and stuff like that.
Now, on the channel, we talked about you got concerts, documentaries. Your interviews going to be there too?
Yeah, we have concerts, we have interviews, and documentary interview style documentaries. But one thing that we're really proud of is a lot of the backstage footage and a lot of the tour vignettes.
Right.
Seeing our artists as they're on tour and as they're interacting with each other, and kind of getting their whole kind of musical and performance going and getting ready to get on stage. That's something that we really love featuring. Some of those performances, like I said, are not necessarily concerts. We have the huge concerts like the Atlanta Jazz Festival with Rhonda and everybody, but we also have those really intimate, personal performances by artists that are, sometimes doing it in really intimate venues.
Right.
Or just doing it as a solo, or doing it from their very own couch. Or very own home, anyway.
Yeah. Since you're new, your channel is almost a year old. How are you getting your word out about your awesome channel? How are people finding it?
Yeah, most of that is naturally through social media and commercials that air on YouTube and the Roku channels and things like that.
Gotcha.
One of the things we try to do also, since it is a music-oriented channel, is make sure that we try to air a lot of our commercials and air a lot of our social media through music social media groups and social media movements.
Are there artists that you have in mind that you would like to see on your channel? Is there anybody, an artist or an entertainer or a group that you would love to air their work on your channel or play it?
Yeah. There's quite a few. Tony is one of the artists that definitely come to mind. And,
that's that Bay Area, isn't it? Isn't that Oakland?
Oakland, that's the town for sure. And
A lot of greats came out of Oakland.
yeah, no, I work a lot with Oakland.
Uh-huh.
Sister companies is the Oakland Carnival, and I work with them every year. First on the first Saturday in June. But and through a lot of my connections through Oakland, I do know and have connected with Dwayne Wiggins. So hopefully we'll be able to make that happen sooner than later.
Awesome. Awesome. And they just
Also, sorry to cut you off, but
no.
I would really, really love to have some type of content from Prince. He was always one of my favorite artists.
Yes.
So, and of course, the next thing is, including some of the live performances that people can consume, right there on a pay-per-view basis from people like India, Ari,
Yeah.
or Erica. Some of the people that we've worked with before. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You say Prince. Is it Prince? Would you like Marvin? Would you like Michael? Or is it, is it any of those people? Is it Aretha? Tell me a little bit more about how you feel you're going to start carving or wanting the type of musicians on your channel.
Absolutely. Well, we are really fortunate to have a really great concert by Marvin Gaye on the channel, and we'd love to add to that something from Michael Jackson and Prince, and and Tina Turner and all the greats. But we also want to move forward with a lot of the younger artists as well,
right.
And certainly a lot of the young soul artists like her,
yes,
and Sir,
yes,
and DJ the Chicago Kid, and all of the really great, and Lettucey, all of the really great talent in that regard. We do actually have a song from Lettucey Live that's on
there. She's amazing. She's amazing. You have an opportunity, Will, to really fill a void, right? To allow people to hear this music and see them in action. Because oftentimes we can't get to it, to see a concert, would want to, but can't. And so by you bringing that element, that'd be great. Tony just had a successful tour in 23, that reunion tour sold out in every city. So it was great. And everybody couldn't go. But to see them, 20 years, 20, 30 years after they did Hey Lil Walter, their very first song, to see how mature they are as musicians is amazing. So I appreciate that. Anything, that was then, and if you giving us things that are happening now, that'll be great. For your viewership. Absolutely. Where do you see your channel in the next, I'm going to say in the next year or two, because things are changing. Larger markets, international, what do you want for your channel, Will?
Well, in the next year, we're certainly going to look to embark on the continent of Africa from an adoption standpoint.
Nice.
They are huge adopters when it comes to not only visual music experiences, but American visual music experiences. That's going to go over well, not only there, but in the Orient as well, and as Europe as well. So, we want to increase that adoption and get global adoption first and foremost. But the most important thing, of course, for us next is that concert, that ultimate live concert level that people will experience right there, and have that be the unique home for that type of experience.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, where can the people find the channel? What do we do? Do we go to the store? We go to our app store? We download it? What's going on? How do we get to it?
Well, we certainly did develop it for Android and for iPhone apps. You can go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, and certainly no matter which device you're using, it works great on all of them. But, for us, it's best seen, with the biggest screen as possible, and, your TV or flat screen or, whatever TV you have mounted through Amazon Fire TV devices or Apple TV devices and Roku devices as well.
So if they have Roku, they can get it. They can just download your app through their Roku channels, and then there it is. Voila! So it's free. That's where I'm getting to. There's no cost for the people to see this beautiful channel.
There is no cost. It is actually all you have to do is sign up for it and then give your email address, and then you're able to consume the content right there off of Roku, right on your Roku TV, off of their apps or Amazon Fire Stick and Amazon Fire TVs, and also Apple TV devices as well.
Yes, yes. And the quality on the channel has been pretty good. So hats off to you on that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome, awesome. How can people keep up with the channel and you? Where can people best find this information? Where can they go?
Well, they can go straight to the reverychannel.net. Reverychannel.net, and that way, not only can you also consume some of the content there as well if you're at work and on your computer. Yeah, that's a great place to kind of keep up with new information and all the new happenings.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome
In addition
stuff.
to that, once you sign up, you generally should get a newsletter as well. And that will give you, much like Netflix does, it'll give you kind of a glimpse of everything that's happening that month, everything that's happening with the channel and all the new content.
Can people buy merchandise? You wearing a nice hoodie? You got T-shirts? What you got? What's going on?
Yeah, actually, merchandise will be coming down the pike soon, so we will have these hoodies and T-shirts. This particular hoodie has the embroidered logo, so
Yeah.
wrong side.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
it's reversed when you look at the screen. So that's the one I'm the most proud of, and I'm hoping to see that on people's bodies as soon as possible.
Yes.
But,
And
and we really do thank you for having us, and we really thank everyone for the support, not only the artists and creators, but everyone who's been supportive, and hopefully they will support us with the merchandise as well.
absolutely. I see a mug in my future, a mug or a T-shirt or something, because it's looking really smashing on you.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure we get you taken care of. Sure.
It's looking really good on you, Will Griggs. Thank you so much for your time, man. This was awesome. And we wish you much continued success in everything you do, especially with the channel. I'm watching it. I tell you, at this time I started, so, and I was like, I gotta go to work. I got stuff to do. I can't be watching it. I fell in love with the Blackout documentary. Great job in putting that on there. And there's some other things that I definitely want to see. So really great channel. It's got my interest for sure. And I just wish you nothing but continued success with it.
Well, thank you so much once again for having us, and for some really, really great things that we have coming up this month on the channel that will be debuting.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you give us a little tea? Can you spill any of them now? Or we just have to fasten our seatbelt and wait till we get the email and the blogs?
Well, yeah, absolutely. There's going to be some really, really good live concert footage that will be taking place that's more carnival oriented. So I bring, an island element to it as well.
Yes, because Island, we love to party. We love to party. All right, so we'll tell the people where they can find the channel again. What are their options? How can they get to it?
Absolutely. Download it right there on your Apple App Store or on the Play Store if you actually have a Android device. But like I said, it's best seen on TV, for Roku devices, for Amazon Fire Sticks and Amazon Fire TVs, and also for Apple TV as well.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Will Griggs, for your time. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. You know me, Real Chicks Rock. I am everywhere. I am on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Now it's called X. I'm on Facebook. Go check out our website, realchicksrock.com. Subscribe so you don't miss out what we got to say, because we blog too. We send out little newsletters and things like that. Subscribe to the new YouTube channel. Yes, Real Chicks Rock. Hit the little notification bell, sign up, so every time we upload something, you are one of the first to know that it's happening. So listen, this is my time, but you know my favorite, Frankie Crocker, WBLS 107.5 in New York City. He would end his show with this: may you live to be 100, and I live to be 100 minus a day. So I never knew that beautiful people like you had passed away. Until next time, take care, be well, and continue to rock on.
There I go, there I go, there I go, there.